Hi everybody, it's Tripl-L, and hey, here I am talking about One Piece chapter 915. I didn't do it last week because I didn't really have anything to add for that chapter. It was just kind of weird. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about Wano so far. You know, I'm not super enthused. Like, I was really feeling it when we saw the Zoro bit, but this little bit that we're in right now isn't really exciting me aside from when we have some really cool power stuff going on. So it's just been an interesting journey reading through One Piece right now. That said, I think 915 is a bit better than 914. But anyway, let's just get into it. Let's just talk about the chapter. So, plot progression wise, we've ended up at another town. It's actually pretty funny how fast we're moving through this. We've gone through the Top Hat village, or is it a top? It was a special kind of village. Braided Hat Village, there we go. We've ended up at Leftover Town, and now we're at Bakura Town. It's just interesting how we're just moving through all these little locales, and the thing is, like, these locales don't really feel all that different. I think at this point we've seen 4 areas in Wano, or 4 towns in Wano. Of those 4 areas, the main place is distinct, and the Braided Hat Village is also distinct. But after that, it's just kind of, you know, industrial waste everywhere, or these kind of industrial samurai towns. They're just kind of in the wasteland. It's just really interesting. They're not really sticking out to me. I think that's one thing that's also making it just kind of interesting, and it's also another thing of, it's funny how quickly we've gotten Otama being someone who has to be saved. Like, we just met her a few chapters ago. Actually, we just met her in like chapter 911 roughly, and we've already got to save her. It hasn't even been 10 chapters and we're already going after this little girl who got sick from drinking poisoned water. It's just, it's funny. It's funny how quickly we've just gone into this little thing of a story. Is that a problem? No, not really. It's just, I don't care about her all that much, you know? It's just, I'm not really feeling it. That said, I do think that this chapter is like starting to make things cooler. Like, we have Kiku getting involved there. We have the whole thing with the sumo wrestler. I didn't think that the sumo wrestler was going to be a big deal. I thought he was going to be a joke character. He was over at her town, and now he's over at this town, and he's having his sumo match, and then Kiku just goes in there and chops off his top knot. I thought that was interesting. At this point, I look at Okiku and I'm thinking, she's most likely on Momonosuke's side. She introduces herself as a samurai. She clearly carries herself in generally high regard, and she's a good person. Most likely means she's on Momonosuke's side. So I'm interested to see what's gonna happen, how this all is gonna get revealed, what Law's gonna do, because Law knows that Luffy's around. But it's just, it feels like we still have to go through quite a bit of work. Quite a bit of like story stuff before we get to anything really cool. I think another thing that's really just bothering me is that I want to see all the Straw Hats together, and just seeing Luffy and Zoro. Well, it is a really nice dynamic to see the 2 of them together, because like this chapter had a pretty good moment with Zoro just saying like, I don't know what to do about naked people. I don't want to cut them, and Luffy playing the straight man to that. That was a pretty cool little interaction, but I want to see everyone else back together now. I want it. And I just want to get the girl safe and just continue on with the story. Yeah. Just to clear up character stuff, Luffy and Zoro, they are a good duo for comedic, or yeah, for tomfoolery and comedy and stuff. They're pretty cool together. The sumo wrestler is largely annoying. He might have a character arc coming up. He might be someone who ultimately gets shown the light and fixes his outlook on life. We have Kiku, who is ultimately a good person, and we have Otama, who has to be saved. The stuff with Otama was actually pretty interesting. I had to go back to chapter 911 just to check what happened, because I thought it was Luffy that tamed the thing, but Otama did give it a bit of the mochi that she produces from her cheeks. This part of the chapter was actually very, very interesting, because I was just interested to see this smile user. And this one we got introduced to one of the headliners, the Lion Man. What was his name? Was it Holden or something? Yeah, Holdem. It was Holdem. So I'm actually really interested in this because I've been having a thought recently about devil fruits, or for a while about devil fruits, specifically questioning how sentient are devil fruits. Because we have that story when we had it back in the Water 7 Tripl-L arc about there being devils residing in the fruits, and if you eat 2 fruits, devils will fight and then you get your body blown up. At the time, it was just kind of like a myth or like a story to explain the phenomena. But I really do wonder to what degree are the devil fruits conscious or sentient. And when you ask the question, like, are the devil fruits sentient, you have to answer yes. At the very least, the Zoan devil fruit have the capacity for sentience locked inside them, right? Because we've seen the Zoan devil fruits give life to objects. The fact that you have a dog gun type thing or a sword that's also an elephant, the fact that you have those two kind of things, those phenomena, and from what we've seen, the elephant looks like it has its own feelings, like when we saw it with Spandam way back when. You have to like ultimately acknowledge, yes, the devil fruit must have some component of consciousness for it to be able to impart consciousness to an object. That said, we don't really know how Vegapunk does the whole process, but it's still something worth fielding. Now when we come to the smiles, there might be a specific reason why the smiles are only Zoan based or mimic Zoan fruits, and it might be because consciousness might be a fundamental aspect of a devil fruit's makeup. But how do you put the consciousness that reflects the power of, say, the gum fruit? You can't really put something that represents elasticity, give it consciousness and shove it inside of a fruit. That's kind of hard to do. But when you talk about a Zoan fruit, the concept of a lion, yeah, you could probably put the consciousness of a lion inside of a fruit at this level. It's a lot more easier to understand how to put consciousness of a lion into you just put the mind of a lion inside the fruit. But because animals themselves already have their own egos, that makes more sense than just the abstract concept of power. And so what we ultimately get with Hold'em is a very interesting situation. The lion is, as we see, and as they say in the chapter, a separate soul from Hold'em, but they share the same body. And that line about sharing the same body is also relevant to devil fruits, because we know devil fruits aren't locked to a person's soul, they are locked to a person's body. And we know this from Law. The moment that Law used his personality swapping power, it gave us an insane look into how devil fruits work. Specifically that the devil fruits, or the consciousness aspect of the devil fruits, if there is one, may not really have all that strong of a relation with the person who is hosting it. Right? So maybe the Gum devil fruit, and if it had consciousness, doesn't really care about Luffy all that much. And the reason that we just say that is because, again, when we saw the personality swaps when Law did it, we saw that the devil fruits stayed locked to the body. They didn't get transferred along with the soul. So those are like some interesting distinctions. And again, when we see this lion smile, all it makes me think is that, yes, the smiles exist because it's easier to put in the consciousness of animals into fruits. You know, in the setting of One Piece, yes, the smile devil fruits, or the smiles in general, must also have a component of consciousness, and that consciousness doesn't need to be in agreement with the person who ate the fruit. It's ultimately a pretty interesting little thing here. And when we see the rebellion that these animals are having to their hosts, and we see Otama in all of this, it makes sense why they would want Otama. They want her because they want to keep their powers under control, and if she can help them do that, then amazing. That said, you know, it's just funny that all this happens when Luffy and the gang show up. That's the only thing I find really funny. Anyway, next week I am hoping that things just hit the fan. I kind of just want to see people get destroyed. I kind of want to see Luffy and Zoro just destroy stuff. I want to see them have fun. I want to see them wreck shit. But yeah, I'll wait till next week. Anyway, that's one of the big takeaways I have for this chapter. It's really the whole thing with the smiles. And of course, the shot of the lion taking a shot at its host was hilarious. It was okay, it was probably one of the best like panels I've seen in the last couple of chapters for One Piece. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Wano so far. Let me know how you're feeling about it. Is it, you know, is it living up to your expectations? We know we're gonna be in Wano for a very long time, but I really just want things to progress. And getting stuck with Otama right now just feels kind of like a diversion. Anyway, guys, till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day or night.